All right, so you've worked really hard to build your email list. Congrats! That's a huge thing. And now you're trying to figure out what to send new subscribers. It can get kind of confusing. Should you be sending them a newsletter, right? Should you send them your blog content? What about promotions and sales? So today I want to walk you through the step-by-step process of creating a simple strategy to send really great content to new subscribers so that you can build trust. And of course, eventually you want to turn these people into buyers. So make sure that you keep watching the entire tutorial because I'm going to actually pull one of our lessons inside our course, Master Email Marketing, that's going to really help you figure out what to send to new subscribers. And hey, at any point in time, don't forget to check out the links in the description box below. We're going to find the accompanying episode that's an actual blog article for this specific show, and you can get even more resources, tips, and strategies that we just can't put in video. All right, so let's talk about what to send your email subscribers once they have, completed your onboarding sequence or they have received your welcome sequence. Now, most of the time, what most people do is that they'll put their email subscribers in one big bucket, right? We won't go in and segment them. And I definitely think that that's a mistake. So whenever you are really thinking about what to send your email subscribers in terms of content, keep in mind what their interests are if they've already expressed them, if you've given them the opportunity to express them. But more importantly, you at the very least want to send your email subscribers content that is related to the relationship that they have with you. So if they're buyers, you want to immediately place them on an onboarding sequence, and we're going to talk about that in a couple videos from now. We're going to talk about it, but I do want you to make that basic distinction. Whatever you're going to send to your email subscribers, it has to be tied directly to the relationship that they have with you. Are they a prospect or are they a buyer? So keep that in mind when you are kind of brainstorming what you're going to send to them. For the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on the marketing to the prospects, not on the actual onboarding of clients, because we have a separate video for that. So just keep that in mind. Here are your basic objectives. Again, when you are talking about really segmenting your list and figuring out what you're going to be sending to each individual group, you want to speak differently to different segments of your list as much as possible. You also want to really make that distinction between buyers and prospects. Also, you want to provide value. You have to focus in on providing value as much as possible for both groups, both your buyers and your prospects. You also want to increase their trust, and eventually you want to get prospects to buy from you. Those are the objectives of your email marketing content. Now, when it comes down to it, a lot of you have been asking, what is the ideal frequency? How often should I email my subscribers? And it really starts with at least one email per week. I think that at a minimum, you should be communicating with your subscribers, with your prospects, at least one time per week. Now, there's exceptions, right? If they're buyers, of course, you may not communicate with them once a week for eternity, but it really just comes down to the life cycle of your product, but sometimes that is appropriate. Now, I want you to stick with at least one email per week and make your newsletter or your weekly email part of your content calendar schedule so that it's a no-brainer. You also want to stick to the frequency, rain or shine. So no matter what happens, you want to be able to have a consistent email that goes out every single week. If you can, batch your emails in advance because it's going to save you a lot of time. And every single email marketing tool has a scheduling feature so that you can schedule your email broadcasts. So let's talk about finding your content ideas. The first way to find content ideas is just to ask your customers and your prospects what they want to learn or receive from you, right? It depends on your business model. If you are sharing your expertise and you're a coach or consultant or an expert, then of course you want to send them information. If you have some kind of product, then you want to base your content around that product. You want to talk about inspiration and styling and bundles and straight pitches if you're an e-commerce store. So again, you want to really craft your content with your customer in mind. So ask yourself these couple of questions. What are your customers struggling with? Sometimes it could be as simple as deciding what to buy. It could be as simple as trying to figure out what product is the best fit for them. Or if you are, selling information, then you want to figure out what the challenges and pain points are that they're facing and what they're interested in learning next. You also want to think about what their hopes, dreams, and visions of the future are so that you can help them future cast that outcome in their lives. And this is really important when it comes to anything marketing. Now, I have a couple of newsletter content ideas for you, and the concept of newsletter, really just makes you think about a paper newsletter where there's multiple blocks and columns, and that's not how you have to structure it. We're just using this term as a general term that just basically signifies that you're going to be sending content to your subscribers every week. And here are a couple ideas. You can email your blog content, right? This is super easy. And the way to do this, I am going to show you an example so that you can see how to structure your email blueprint. But when you publish a new blog post, it's really important that you share it with your subscribers, right? That's content that you're creating for them. They're your VIPs, and you want to make sure that they consume it. Also, email a weekly interview if you do weekly interviews, or maybe it's just an inspiration roundup. This is great for fashion brands and retail in general. You can also send up a weekly podcast if you have a podcast, or a weekly video if you have a video show, or you can just send out an email with a product roundup, right? If you are a retailer, you get to pitch a lot more often than the rest of us because people expect that. So you can send the latest promotion, or you can send out a roundup of your product, or you can show people how to use it. You can feature it and spotlight it and talk about how other people are using it. Really, the possibilities are pretty much endless, and they're limited to your imagination. You can also send out a weekly challenge or an action plan. This is great for coaches and consultants who really just want to rile up their subscribers and get them those little wins that will eventually get them to purchase from you because they trust you. Now, let's take a look at the email blueprint. So in terms of structuring your weekly emails, this is a great kind of framework for what they should look like. Of course, if you are, more into the graphics, kind of like the more traditional, pretty emails, that's totally okay. I do want to challenge you to think outside the box and test this, because I do think that emails that have that are sent in plain text or in HTML are actually way more effective because people feel like they're personal. They're not just pitch emails. They get more opens, more click-through rates, and more ROI. So that's important. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to lead in with a great subject line, a subject line that's punchy, that's catchy, that really evokes either curiosity or promises some kind of result, or just really describes what you're sharing inside, or even includes a call to action. So think about what really causes you to open emails, and we actually have a swipe file for you full of great subject lines that you can actually pull from and use as inspiration. We have 10 subject lines that you can use as inspiration. And I want you to make sure that you're really thinking about the subject line, because that's what's going to get the email opened. It's super important, right? So that's literally what gets that foot in the door that you really need to provide value to that prospect. And if folks are not opening your emails, then they're definitely not going to read them, right? So the subject line's job is to get you to open the email, and you really want to spend as much time as possible brainstorming your subject line so that it's really, really punchy and that it gets those emails opened, because you're competing with everyone else who's trying to hit that prospect's inbox. And if your subject line doesn't stand out, you are in big trouble. So that's just something to think about. The next section is you want to lead with a quick intro, and you want to include a link as soon as possible. Whenever, please use common sense with this. I don't mean lead with a link, but try to incorporate it at the top of the email as well as at the bottom. So depending on how your subscriber consumes your emails, if they're skimming through it, they're just kind of like, scanning your email and they see the link multiple times, they're more likely to click. But if they're in a hurry and they only read the first couple lines, then you should have an email there so that they can go over and consume your content if you are sending them content that lives on your website. So a quick intro with a link to the blog or resource, and then a teaser image is always important. I think that images are really, really important when it comes to click-through rates. So if you are offering a resource or your blog, include a teaser image and make it clickable so people can actually, they can actually click over and consume your content. The next is include a second link in the body of the copy and close with a clear call to action. This is perhaps the biggest mistake I see when it comes to email marketing, specifically with folks who are just getting started. So if you are getting started, please always close your email with a clear call to action. You can see that mine says, come over to the blog and grab my free Facebook ad swipe file straight from the Business Knowledge Resource Vault. It's a special bonus. So it's very clear what I want them to do with this email. And again, you want to hyperlink it so that people are actually, it's very clear that this is a link and that you want them to click over. So don't forget, this lesson is just one small piece of our entire Master Email Marketing course inside the Business Lounge. And that's actually waiting for you inside if you decide to join us right away. You'll also get access to 30+ marketing and business building training courses and an entire success path that's really going to take you anywhere from validating your business idea all the way to scaling it up and everything in between. And of course, we have a ton of awesome resources, tools, and live events that happen every single month where you get to ask me personal questions via our forum, our Facebook group, and also via live Q&As. So I'm really excited about that. If you want to learn more about it, definitely check out the link in the description box below. Now's question of the day. I'd love to hear from you. What are some of your email marketing tips and tricks as it pertains to sending newsletters or sending content to new subscribers? I'd love to hear from you. Actually, a lot of the advice and insights that happen in our community are coming from subscribers just like you in the comments section. So definitely leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you never miss out on another episode. And until the next one, be amazing, go crush it, go hustle, go send amazing content to your email list, build those relationships, and make more sales. I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.